All right, our MAAC Mondays moved to Tuesday since we were off yesterday. And we've got a nice little local flavor in our MAAC Monday today, which is happening on a Tuesday. Mike and Mosh, 97.3 ESPN, taking you till 6. Many of you in the listening audience will remember today's MAAC Monday guest. He was the MVP of the 2005 Group 4 state championship game. A game that I called, by the way. That's how old I feel all of a sudden. After leading Atlantic City to the title, posting a 74-17 record during his career with the Vikings. He was the Cape Atlantic League Conference Co-Player of the Year. He helped AC to its third appearance in a Group 4 state championship game in 4 years. And they played, he averaged 18 points, 5.6 assists, 4.8 rebounds, 2.6 steals as a senior. And he went on to play in the MAAC Conference at Canisius. And Frank Turner is with us now on the Boardwalk Honda Hotline. Frank, I can't believe that was 2006.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
My gosh. Man, I was in my 20s back then calling them games for you guys. I remember like it was yesterday. It had to be I know you're in town and got a chance to come back to Atlantic City. Now, you're playing overseas now, right?
Yeah.
You're back in town and you get a chance to, get back into the old neighborhood. And I guess just being in Atlantic City, which is such a basketball town, makes you have to think about some of the stuff that you did while you were here.
Yeah, it's crazy because yesterday I was able to catch one of the high school games and we played one of our rivals, Holy Spirit, and it was just the memories that came back, and then you get into comparing the teams and how they play now and competition. It just brought back a lot of memories, a lot.
Yeah, it's apropos that they played Holy Spirit. You guys had a lot of battles, but those runs that your team went on, it seemed like, there were years and years and years, the history, that AC just couldn't get over the hump. And then all of a sudden, boom, and it was almost like a rite of passage that you guys were going to make it back. As you said, the memories start coming back. But those runs really jump-started, I guess, to put you on the map to get to the next level. And you played in the MAAC at Canisius. And, that was those last 2 years at Atlantic City probably really started to draw a lot of attention for you.
Yeah, for sure. Because going into my sophomore year, I really wasn't even in the lineup at all. I was deep in the bench, and during the summer we had a game, and then I played really well in the summer tournament, and that's when it started. But for sure, my junior year, where I had the 1 year varsity experience already, we got a couple new players that was from Atlantic City, and then we added Ed Keys. And that was just a big, big year there that started everything. And it made things a lot easier for me my senior year, even though we fell short. But, I was able to lead my team back to a state championship with only, I think, maybe one or two returners from varsity.
Yeah, that 2005 team, you were the MVP of the state championship game, which – man, I can remember like that was yesterday. I could see Gene Allen with his hands in the air, stomping up and down the sidelines, and just that run that you guys went on. I'm sure that, that's something that you'll remember. But tell our listeners, the MAAC championship coming to your hometown, and you played in the MAAC. You started, right from the get-go there, 25 of 31 games. You got a chance to go play high-level basketball. What kind of ball the people of Atlantic City can expect to see with the MAAC championship coming to Boardwalk Hall?
Man, the MAAC is a very, very good conference. I know it's a lot of tough basketball. For me, during my time, I'm not really sure how much it's changed, which I'm sure it has. But I played against a lot of physical teams, starting from my freshman year all the way into my senior year. But it's very competitive. The guard play is at the top, so it's people will definitely see some really good basketball. I'm kind of jealous that it wasn't here when I played.
Frank, I've always said, the MAAC is filled with a lot of guys who grew up in either, Boston, Philly, New York, and they grew up in the shadows of Nova and St. John's, Syracuse, BC, and they wanted to play at those schools and didn't get a chance, so they always had that kind of blue-collar chip on their shoulder. Is that something you experienced when you were at Canisius? A lot of guys who played alongside in high school with some of the guys who were at UConn and Nova and all those schools and wanting to be there too?
Yes, for sure. The names can go on and on with the level of guards that I played against in college that are still playing to this day with me overseas, and some are in and out of the NBA. The guard play was just, it was so tough. Every night you was playing against a really good guard who can really put up numbers. So at the guard position, you played against some really good scorers. And for the most part, I remember a lot of guards that came from the New York area. That was in the conference. That was just really good scores.
Yeah, it's funny because basketball, we all know it's changed a lot over the last, 5-10 years. It's become much more of a perimeter game, but I still feel like watching East, a little bit of Big East schools that are still actually from the East, and then MAAC and Atlantic 10, you still see that kind of toughness that is just kind of ingrained in the East Coast style of DNA of basketball.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. That's exactly how it is. I'm sitting here getting back the memories just from my freshman year when I came in so light and every team was just so physical and the main focus for my sophomore year was to put on weight and get stronger. And I just remember a lot of days where I was just really tired, just from the physical play, not even just the amount of minutes I played.
People, and the good message from you, Frank, who has made a career of basketball. Like, you played at Atlantic High, and there probably wasn't a night where you opened up the newspaper and didn't see your name at the top of the list, and then that quickly kind of goes all away. You go from being on the front page all the time in your hometown, and then people are like, whatever happened? But you're getting paid to play basketball, and the MAAC conference and playing there gave you that opportunity, which, it's amazing. I can't believe I'm talking to you in your 30s now. I mean, this is nuts, but it's pretty cool that that playing basketball at that level afforded you to continue to play at this level.
Yeah, it's definitely a blessing. It's sometimes a little shocking to even think about it. I'm 10 years in as a professional basketball player.
Wow.
I'm about to be 32 years old. When it seemed like yesterday, I was in high school playing with Atlantic City High School. I can remember it like it was yesterday, the battles between Niagara, the games with Ryder. That was fun. Even Loyola, Maryland, St. Peter's. It's definitely a blessing, but it's just crazy to see that I'm 10 years in.
It's crazy for all of us. I remember calling your games in high school, man, and, you were a joy to watch. Frank Turner's with us. Who would you say in your college career, whether it be a MAAC opponent or just non-conference, a game or opponent that you remember, as, man, that guy was on another level?
I can name a few. I remember, my freshman year, Jared Jordan was just flat out good. That guy he ran the team very well. He's for sure the best point guard in the MAAC my freshman year, which was his senior year. And it's crazy because I played against him recently in the past 3 years in Germany.
Huh.
So it's crazy about that. I have Ryan Thompson at Ryder, who was from Jersey also, who went to Lenape. And then the same thing with him, playing against him overseas in Germany also and in Belgium. St. Peter's dead guards. Was it Nick Leon and Wesley Jenkins? These two guys could score so well. So well. It was some tough battles with them. And then let's say Scott Machado from Iona. The list, it really goes on and on with the guards from the MAAC. It really does.
Well, it's really cool to catch up. And you just mentioned Germany, Belgium. I mean, what a life, man, to be traveling around and get to see the world playing a game that you love. And it all started here in AC, and then the MAAC. And the MAAC and AC are going to connect March 10th through the 14th. And it was really cool catching up with Frank Turner, former Atlantic City Viking and a Canisius alum who was part of the MAAC championships March 10th through the 14th. Frank, it's good catching up with you, man.
Thank you. I appreciate the interview.
Absolutely.
See you,
Frank
Frank.
Turner, everybody. Man, I can't believe he just said he's 31 years old, going to be 32 years old.
Yeah.
I remember that game in 2005. I called that game at Rutgers.